What's up everybody, Silver here with another Halo Wars 2 achievement guide. This time we are doing part 4 of 5 for Awakening the Nightmare on Legendary. So start up this level, it's the Archive, the 4th out of 5. We are almost done with all of the DLC and campaign in general in Halo Wars 2. So run up here, you'll deactivate that barrier, those lasers coming down from the ceiling with that console. Then you'll move up here, just move Voridus up and destroy him, distract that one guy with Voridus, and then the carbine wielding elites will shoot him from afar and help you out. So up here I move my carbine guys up, but I move up Voridus even further so he could distract those guys. Obviously move the jump pack brutes up to this point. Then they'll jump over here, so there's a lot of going back and forth, kind of just micromanaging your units here. Obviously pick up all the supplies on the ground to start whenever you come across any supplies or power. And then move up your guys on the left here while moving up your guys on the right as well. So once I take this guy's health down, that big blob over there that I'm shooting with my carbine elites, once he gets to about halfway health, you could jump pack, jump up in the air like that and slam onto him, and he'll mostly be dead right after that. So feel free to speed that up a little bit, but you could just sit there and let the carbine guys take him out. That's fine too. And then we're going to move up again, move Voridus all the way up to this area so he distracts all of those enemies. You could use your Y ability to kill all those infection forms as well very quickly. Then the carbine guys, as always, are just hanging out from behind and just shooting. And then the jump pack brutes, I had come up and body slam that flood guy right at the end. So we're going to move up here, grab all the supplies and power as usual. I use Voridus to move through these beams because he's pretty quick, and he has a shield, so if I get hit, that's no big deal. It's just a flesh wound. Possibly. It might not even be a flesh wound. It might just damper his shield a little bit. You could get hit a little bit. Obviously, his shield will recharge, and he won't take any damage himself, so that is nice. So grab these supplies. We're going to go up here and bust this crate open, so we'll get even more. And this is on Legendary. I do have 4 skulls on. They are Pain Train, Bountiful Harvest, Emperor, and Sugar Cookies, so definitely throw those on. It makes it a lot easier. And we are going to move up here. There's a little dialogue there, not allowing me to move my units, which is annoying. Good for story, but not for gameplay once I've done this a bunch of times. But anyway, move up here and kind of make a box, like run a square in front of your units there. So place all your units right about where I placed them, and then move up with Voridus and run in a square formation once you use your Y ability. So that's the incendiary gel sitting on the ground. That's that smoky, cloudy, black stuff. And you could finish them off. You could see the incendiary gel was protecting all of us for the most part, and the carbine guys were finishing everybody off. But once that dissipated, there were a few left. So I used my jump pack brutes to use their Y ability, and they just jumped up and slammed under the ground to finish off that last cluster of infection forms. So we're looking pretty good here. This is an area where you could call in reinforcements. Pavium suggests, or someone suggests, maybe Voridus, that you call in an honor guard. I think it's Pavium though, but it doesn't matter. Do not call in an honor guard. Forget that. Just call in more carbine guys. Carbine wielding elites. They are definitely the most useful unit in this level by far. So we're just going to move up here and grab these supplies. And you want to make sure that you are keeping an eye on your supplies. This is a level where you're not actually gaining any unless you pick them up on the ground until the way end. The way end, you'll start having like a trickle of supplies coming in and power. But you want to make sure you conserve all your supplies and power for now because you don't have that much to go with. But anyway, move up here. And we are going to use our carbine elites to slowly move up and take out everybody. So be aware of these blisters on the ground. You can see those jiggling pods of flood. You want to make sure that you don't walk over those because those will explode if you get too close to them. So we're just going to slowly move our way through here. And eventually we're going to take out all these blisters anyway on the ground. But right now we're just going to save them. Take out this little group of 5 though. Just because that's an area that's highly walked across, so you don't want to accidentally walk across those guys. So just move up your carbine guys, take out these guys, grab all the supplies and ammo as usual, or supplies and power, and we're just going to move over here and we're going to call in more elites, the carbine elites. So at this point, I'm going to move up everybody else. Move up your carbine guys. You always want your carbine guys leading the charge for the most part, at least for now. So I'm just going to use Vortis to run around and gather all the supplies. You can see I'm definitely like keeping my distance from all these pods. And now I will move up the carbine guys even more. So there's this arc defense that you could activate, that console, which would destroy all those people. But I decided to save that because I'm going to save that for this big onslaught of flood that is going to come not right now, but in a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm using my carbine-wielding elites to destroy all these pods in this area. This is because, this area is kind of tough to walk through without blowing up the blisters. And so I'm just going to take them out just to be safe. And B, you could see that there's some numbers above the heads of some of my elites, and that is their veterancy level. So the bigger the number on there, the better they are. So they will actually level up over time as they output damage and kill things. So I'm just going to kill a bunch of stuff by shooting all these blisters and killing all the stuff that's inside them. They're like a fun egg that's like, yo, what's in here? It's a little surprise. It's not a Cadbury egg. Those always are full of cream. What am I thinking of? There's like there used to be those eggs that you opened up, and there was like a surprise in there, some kind of something, some kind of toy. You didn't know what you're going to get. But that's not as fun here because what you're going to get is a bunch of flood. Infection forms or those, I'm not sure what those other ones are called. They run at you. They're crazy. But anyway, we are just going to kill as many of these guys as possible, and you want to make sure you stay back because the infection forms and those other things that pop out will run at you if you get too close. Even if you're far away, they'll run at you, but if you're far away, you could definitely take them out before they even get to you. So we're going to steer clear of these big tentacles that are hanging out. You can see there's one right here. We're just going to run past those once we take out enough blisters. At this point, we could probably run past them, but I'm just leveling up my elite carbine guys right now. And you can see right here, I'm shooting at the tentacle itself, but then I'm just going to decide, you know what, it's not even worth it, and I'm going to start shooting at the blisters again. So let's, I wonder how much time until that happens. When does that happen? Come on, Silver. I recorded this gameplay last night, and now I'm talking over it, and I'm like, what are you doing? Okay, go after the blisters, for God's sake. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I mean, you could take out the tentacles if you want, but it's just, it's not really worth it. Oh, I should talk about leader powers and leader points while this is happening. So, oh, now the tentacles are coming at me. Not cool. So, what you want to do with leader points is level up Atriox's Bulwark all the way, and then you want to also level up the, what else was it? The Cataclysm and the Incendiary Gel, whatever the thing is below that. Incendiary, I'm just going to use Atriox's Bulwark right now. But you want to max this out, level it all the way up, and what is it called? There's the Cataclysm and then the thing right below it, which they kind of work hand in hand. But when you run past these guys, blow up those canisters. You can see I just blew them up, and that totally annihilated those two big flood guys. So at this point, I'm going to move to the edge and kill all those guys because I have the high ground, Anakin. I have the high ground. So they don't really shoot at you while you're up here, but you could shoot at them. And meanwhile, I will take out some more of these blisters while my other guys have moved up and they are destroying that barrier now. And we're continuing to level up our guys. So I'm going to cut ahead in a little bit, but I'm just going to show you what you want to do here. So we're going to go take out the, I guess we're just going to take out this tentacle, even though I said we shouldn't. Come on now, speed it up. So I sent those guys over here to take down this barrier. So one thing that is random in this mission is sometimes there are two tentacles that come out of the ground in this little area up here. Right here where I'm going right now. Sometimes two tentacles pop up, but sometimes this flood blob pops up as well. So it depends what you get. So I just destroyed those guys with my jump pack brutes. Their Y ability, just jumping up in the air and slamming down onto them. And what I'm going to do in that area is blow up all those supply crates and everything. And I'm going to actually send some of my carbine guys away, because you could see that these guys who I've sent to this other group with the brutes over here, they actually have a level of 3. They have a 3 above their head, and that's the highest you could get them. So I'm going to just use all my other elite carbine guys to take out the rest of the blisters, and that way I can level those guys up all the way as well. So right here, we're going to grab more carbine guys, and we're going to have them join up with the other carbine guys that are not at a level 3 yet, and we're going to send those guys over to continue destroying blisters. And I'm going to skip ahead because it gets repetitive, obviously. You don't need to watch me kill all the blisters. But these guys we're going to send back here, and remember, we passed a bunch of blisters over there that we did not take out yet, so we're going to use those to level up those guys. And this brute, we just sent up one guy over here, and he's just going to collect all the supply and power over here. And then he's going to move back to this console, but don't activate that console yet. We're going to prepare ourselves over here for a little bit. We're actually going to use the arc defense, like I mentioned earlier, to take out all of the infection forms that will rush your position once you activate that console. So just take out all these blisters, move one of your jetpack brutes to this arc defense console, but again, don't activate that yet. So I've skipped ahead with the power of movie magic. I skipped ahead a few minutes. I've destroyed all the blisters, so my carbine elites are at the highest level they could be at this point, and I've put them all in one area. I have activated the bridge, and now I'm going to wait here with a set of jump pack brutes, and I'm going to activate this arc defense once the infection forms start coming at us. So you can see right here, we got it ready, arc defense, and I'm just going to rotate the camera so we can see the top of the screen is now in line with where they will be attacking us from. So you can see all of them come at us. I activate that so the arc defense can help us out, and you want to have all your carbine guys kind of over here in this corner with the remainder of your jump pack brutes and Vortis. So once you start getting overwhelmed, the carbine guys will do a pretty good job for a little bit. But once you see a ton of them, you want to activate Vortis's Y ability. So just slam the ground with the Y button, and he'll activate this incendiary gel power. And then you also want to use this guy right here. What did I just use? It's the thing under Cataclysm. I forget what it's called. But anyway, use this. And if you need to, which you probably won't need to with this strategy, you could use Cataclysm as well, which ignites all of the incendiary gel on the map, and it's even more powerful. So we didn't have to use that, fortunately. It wouldn't be that big of a deal if we had to. We just conserved some power and supply there. And that does it for this section. Normally that's a really tough section, at least in my past experience, but then I found this strat, and it's pretty good. But we run back over here. We're going to run right across the bridge. Don't pay attention to these tentacles. Just run right by them. No need to fight those guys. And we're going to run up here. So reunite all your guys. And we're going to move up here. Another little maze area. Or not really a maze, but, you know, one of these things where you got to dip, dive, duck, dodge, and dodge, or whatever it is from Dodgeball. So I decided to just run right through that one because I had enough shield where I just ran right through it. I like to run up the right side. Usually there's a pretty good gap between times where the right side is being occupied by lasers. So I just ran right up the sideline. And we're just going to move up all our guys now. And I put them right there in the corner. And we are going to move Vortis up, and he could activate the console over there by himself. And the carbine guys are very leveled up at this point, so they will pretty much hold out on their own mostly, not all the way. But just use Vortis to attack these infection forms over here. And then you could see these guys in the corner are picking off these guys pretty well. But definitely have Vortis come back here and use his Y ability in a little bit to surround them with some more incendiary gel, which just slowly damages them over time. So that'll make it even easier for your carbine elites over there. So they should do a pretty good job. They are seemingly unbeatable. They're not unbeatable, but, you know, they're pretty good. Surround them with this gel. They'll be even better. So it looks like we're doing pretty good. I threw down another Atriox's Bulwark so we could heal ourselves. So that heals you, and it gives you, I think it gives you a boost to your damage output or something for a little bit as well. I could be wrong there. I'm pretty sure it does healing, and it gives you another boost of some kind as well, though, when it's active. But we are pretty much done. There's this little giant colony, little big colony over here, which activates the quarantine, so you can see all those lasers are coming down. Once they stopped rushing me, I should have ran over and killed those guys so I could avoid the lasers, but the lasers didn't even hit me, fortunately, so that's nice. But this section, we are going to do pretty much the same thing we did for the previous section. We're going to move all of our carbine guys up that are not level 3 so we could level them up even more. And we're actually going to put one of our jetpack brutes up on the platform on the top of the screen. You can see a circular platform. That's actually another area where you could activate an arc defense, which is not something I knew when I first played through this the first 3 or 4 times or so. I did a little exploring, and I found you could get up there. You wouldn't know just on your first playthrough, possibly. Maybe you did notice on the first playthrough, and I'm just an idiot. But there we go. You can see the jump pack brutes are up there. Grab some supplies and power, and we will use them to activate the arc defense in a short while. So I'm going to skip ahead because this is literally me going around the map and shooting all these blisters again. So just hang tight. We will fast forward, and don't go too far. You could see where the highlighted area was, where you saw the Abomination, the giant flood guy. Don't go over there yet. Just take out all these blisters, call in some more carbine guys here at this portal, and we will meet you back here in a second. Welcome back. So we are almost done here. We're almost going to move up to the Abomination. We are going to, right now, another reason we took out all these blisters, other than leveling up all our carbine guys, is when the Abomination actually comes at you, he will run over all the blisters himself and unleash them. So you don't want to have them all unleashed on you at once. You want to deal with them individually, obviously. So we're going to run away, lead him over here. I'm thinking, in retrospect, I probably should have led him over here with Vortis, just because he has a shield and he's pretty quick. So that would probably have been better, and I wouldn't have received all that damage to my carbine guys. But they look pretty good. No worse for the wear. Maybe a little worse, but you can see the carbine, or not the carbine, the arc defense really took him out very quickly on top of my carbine elite guys. So that's a very good strategy. It takes a little bit of time. Obviously, this strategy takes time due to the fact that you spend time killing a bunch of blisters, and it's repetitive and boring, but it's very effective. Definitely the best way to go about doing this on Legendary. And we're going to run up here and destroy this barrier. When you destroy this barrier, there's going to be some more flood forms that pop out of the ground, so be aware of that. That big bulbous thing pops out of the ground, and also from behind there will be some infection forms, so keep an eye on that. But now we are free to move up and destroy all of these power and supply caches, and we are going to gather them up, and we are going to move to the last area of this mission. So we're going to move up here where this arrow is pointing. Yes, I know, it's a very insistent arrow. Right now, right here, get on with it. Let's go. And obviously this video is sped up to 2 times speed, just to make it more bearable. RTS guides could be very lengthy, so I tried to speed them up by a factor of 2, so they're twice as short. So you're welcome. But anyway, we're going to run through here. I'm going to be very ineffective at running through here. I'm almost dead by the time I get through this maze, and I'm not sure why that is, because I've never had that issue before. But I'm going to run up the side. I almost die. Thankfully, he has a shield and a lot of health. And if you do end up dying there with Vortis, obviously you have a ton of units behind you to try again. The Carbine Elites are pretty quick on their feet, and the Jump Pack Brutes aren't as fast, but you could kind of run halfway and then use the Y ability for them to jump to the other side. So they don't even have to make it all the way. Make it halfway and then use your Y ability to jump the rest of the way. And then obviously if Vortis dies, you want to make sure you run back to him and revive him eventually. They'll slowly kind of revive, but to fully revive you need to go back to them to wake them up. So do that if you need to. And once we get to this area, we're going to call in a ton of, what's that now? Elite Rangers. That's all we're going to call in this mission. Why? Because they're great. They're great at what they do. So this section, you can see the 3 nodes are covered in flood. Pretty disgusting. Gotta clean these guys off. The work of a janitor. Thankfully, the janitors of today, in today's society, the cleaning crew that comes in, they don't have to deal with flood grossness. I'm sure they have to deal with some level of grossness, but not this level. This is pretty bad. Any cleaning crew people or janitors or whatnot, feel free to correct me if these power nodes are more disgusting or less disgusting than what you've dealt with. I'm sure there's some horror stories out there. I mean, we are awakening the nightmare here. But anyway, we're just going to run around the map here with our carbine guys, with everybody basically, and just run to where the the Flood are popping up. You can see on your mini-map, there will be some dots, some green dots, which is confusing sometimes. The Flood are indicated as green on your mini-map, which confuses me. Sometimes I get scared because I see a red dot on my radar, but then I realize it's me and my people. So yeah, that's weird. But anyway, just move to where they are. You won't see anything terribly big and bad until about 50%, and then you'll start seeing the Abomination start walking in. So we have a bunch of leader powers to choose from at this point as well, and you can see that now that we've got to this last section, there is a trickle of power and supplies coming in, so we don't have to gather supplies anymore. So that's nice. So feel free to use your lead powers more liberally than you were earlier. And now we can see an Abomination is coming in. I decided to use mass stasis to freeze him for a short time. Unfortunately, we can't shoot at him. He just kind of is in his own space and time. We can't actually affect him, but we do stop him for a period of time, which is nice. So when we are running around this map defending these nodes, they don't actually get blown up, which thank God, because that would be a lot harder. They actually just get covered in Flood again. So you can see the number is counting up in the top of my screen. So once that gets to 100, we win. But the only way that number goes up is if these power nodes are clean. So you can see all three of them are clogged up or whatever right now. We need to get a massive plunger. You can see I'm using those, whatever that thing is called, the big, all the lasers, leader power from the sky, leader power. So we're just going to clean these guys off as we go. And what's nice about this is the Abominations ignore you if there is at least one power node that is still active. So we're just going to run around in a circle, mostly, and clean the power nodes off as we go. Because the Abominations are more interested in clogging up these power nodes. So we could, A, clear them off so we get more facility power, which is what we're wanting to get up to 100% for the end game there. And also, by clearing them off, we're distracting the Abominations. So you can see these two guys are coming in, totally ignoring us as we're taking pot shots at them. They're just running around this power node, and they will destroy it, clog it up, and they will actually just turn around, and they're going, where are they going? I don't even know. But I activated, or I didn't activate, I cleared it off again, and now they're just at this power node again, just whacking away at it one more time. So they're very single-minded organisms, it seems, in this mission, or at this part at least, which is nice. So again, I'm using that those lasers. I forget what it's called. I don't know where it is. I have one leader point to allocate, and I have no more slots. I've never had that before. That is crazy. But anyway, just keep moving around. Again, run in circles. These guys will not be able to find out what to do. They don't understand it. We just clogged this up, and now it's clean again. I don't get it. So now they're running after us, or chasing us to this other clean power node. Obviously, we have the incendiary gel from Vortis you could use from time to time, which you can see I did there. And then I use Cataclysm to ignite it, which gives more damage out to the enemies. And yeah, this mission, or this part of the mission, isn't too bad actually with all these Carbine guys. If any die, which most of them probably will survive, call in more, but just run in circles for the most part while you clear off these guys. And they do a pretty good job for themselves. So we'll come to this hieroglyphic thing in the middle here. Just mash the options on the right side or the left side until they activate, and that is pretty much the whole mission. So we got one more to go, guys. Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you for the next. Click like and subscribe, leave a comment, follow me on Twitter at HaloCompletion on Twitch and Mixer, and I'll see you guys later for more Halo achievements.